Hey everybody. Y'all might see my ear dripping. I got my ear down. Everything from here down has been bugging me, so we'll talk about that too. But hello, and if you don't come in, I will chat with you in a few. Um, Let me mute this because I'm back here surfing YouTube as we speak. And if you don't come in, I'm still gonna talk about it and then just post it. I don't plan on being on here, but um, maybe an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of that, because I got homework. And I hope everybody's doing okay. If you come in or you see this later, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Who is this? And I'll be talking here in a minute, y'all. I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes because I just opened it up. And I'll start talking here in a minute. I hope everybody's blessed, doing well, not stressing out. I gotta see who this is. I don't know who that is. I have to, is she kin to Billy Graham or not? Oh, y'all. I've been busy. I'm off from the other job, but I got some other stuff going, so that's why I ain't gonna be on here too long. Got homework, and then I got to get up early tomorrow. But I had to go into the other job to put in my off time, so to put in my pay stub or my payroll, my timesheet of my vacation time. I think there's a way to access it from home, but I have no idea, and they're not that far, so I went up there and took care of that Friday. Um, I'm really tired though, because I was up late last night. What did I do last night? I was working on some stuff. So I did the homework stuff early, but I got homework stuff that needs to be in before midnight tonight. I got to finish up. So I'm going to jump on there and look at that. And then I'm going to try. I cleaned out stuff out the refrigerator, so now I just need to wash it out. I'm going to try to do that today before I go to bed. And then I'm trying to make, Joe made this dish. He'd use ground beef. I'm using more cubed or chunkier cube beef that's usually used sometimes for tacos. But it's ground a little more thick. It's like more cubish, not cube, like not cube like that, but it's the way it's ground. It's ground very thick. So I'm using that, and then he used frozen peas, carrots, corn. And I think it has some string beans in it. That's what the frozen mix I got. Then he used this stuff called fideo, which is like a noodle. And they usually have it for $1 at the Mexican grocery stores. And then he seasoned it, and he used diced tomato, I think in the can. Beef. No, he used chicken bouillon, but I guess you could use beef or chicken. And then cumin and some other stuff. And you put the noodles in there, and they just cook in there. You don't have to pre-boil them. And then it's amazing. Almost look like I'm gonna say almost like a kind of Mexican style spaghetti-ish. Not heavy noodles, but just right. I'll try to post it. I'll post a picture of his on the community page if y'all want to see it. Kathy, what's up? Oh, they made things. They the girl in YouTube done changed stuff up on me. So your print is small as hell. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to have my tablet in the future or my computer up. They wrong for that. How you doing? Is it getting cold? I heard it's cold in Texas. How you doing? And if you see me dripping over here, it's because I got sweet oil and peroxide in this ear because this ear has been bothering me. I believe I got a sinus infection. They got me on what are horse tablets? Girl, got me on amoxicillin. And for females, I'm gonna have to probably do some yeast cream because we get the yeast infection once we do amoxicillin or any kind of percent. See how big this dang pill is? It's a horse pill, y'all. The hand that don't shake as much. You see that horse pill? It's a horse pill. So I'm doing that. Yeah, because I think I got a sinus infection. So yeah. Oh, that's right. You said you was gonna be in Vegas. Okay. There is all you can eat hotspot out there, Kathy. I did a YouTube on it on this channel. It's bomb. I actually took, I think, Uber or Lyft from Petro in on the outskirts of Vegas, there on the edge of Vegas, and came back into Chinatown and went to it. It's bomb. So if you get a chance, you do need to go with some people. You can't go by yourself. Cause well, you can, but because you can't take it with you, you're gonna waste a lot of food. But it was really good. You get to choose two broths, and then they got those stations, and you put girls bomb, 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 bomb. I'll have to see if I remember the name of it. Email me in the background. You just do Trucker Doll. That's the easiest to remember. Truckerdoll@gmail.com. Oh, y'all forgive me. I was up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. What was I doing? Me and another associate of mine were talking. One of my other friends from when I worked at University of Phoenix, and we were talking. And so I think I was responding to her. I had been running all day. I was doing some stuff in the house. I'm trying to get my house back in shape because I'm gonna most likely be here more frequently. Praise Jesus if things go well. I got this week and next week I'll know for sure what's going on and I'll be able to tell y'all more. But if things go well, then not this week, but next week I'll let y'all know a lot more. Because at that point it's a done deal. I'm not gonna be worried about the other place. Um, y'all. Whew, sorry, I didn't expect to get on here and be all sleepy. I got me some coffee too because I knew I was gonna need it. But I was up to 1 or 2, and I don't stay up that late anymore because I'm having to get up early. I have to be at my other appointment at 7:30 in the morning. So normally I'm up usually about 5 to get to take care of that appointment. Um, and that's why tonight, after I get off of here, I'm going to be working on the homework because I'm going to try to get my refrigerator done tonight. And then I'm going to bed because I got to get up early tomorrow because this week is a big week coming up. A lot of study material. Anyway, yeah, it's right now we're cooling off, but we're still in the it was like we hit 90 a couple times, but it's been between 80 and 90 during the day. In the evenings, I think we're hitting between 60 and 70s. So we are coming into our cooler weather. I have not started my garden. Me and one of my associates, friends, Laura, we were actually talking about that because she's showing me pictures of hers. After this week coming up, if everything goes good into the following week, that following weekend, I'm going to get out there and start working on the backyard and my fall winter garden. Arizona, I'm not really worried about rushing. And then I bought one drip system. I'm going to probably order a second one. I have not put it up yet. I'm going to put that out there. I need to rearrange some stuff. I got weeds I got to clean out. And I got a couple bins out there I need to throw out. And then I need to order a couple of more heavy duty bins from Costco. They're only like $11 each, 10 something. So I'm gonna order a couple of more of those, and then my bins in the back were some of those cheaper ones. Well, the heat and stuff has eaten through it, where these would actually last okay. And then I need to go by Harbor Freight and pick up a tarp, and I'm gonna tarp them in the back and get the back a little cleaned up so I can start my fall garden. Cause I'm getting my feelings hurt when I go to buy groceries and lettuce is costing a crazy amount of money. That's insanity to me when I can grow it in the back. Only issue I got to figure out, me and the lizards. We got to come to an understanding. So I might have to grow lettuce in a couple of different spots and hope I get some. Them little ninjas. It make me mad. I ain't gonna be on here too terribly long. Um, Vegas, y'all should be. It's not cold yet, but y'all are like us, right? 80, 90, and then should be 60, 70 in the evenings. They're desert like we are. So I'm gonna kind of get to this, and then y'all can just chime in. Whoever comes in, because I didn't announce this live. Um, I had a situation happen at the job that I'm off from right now. That I took the month off, and one of the young girls. So most everybody know I'm Christian up there. One of the young babies, she ended up new to the team that I was on, and she had sat by me, had a lot of attitude, but she's actually now, after I think we've interacted, it went to now Miss Shannon. Okay. And because I'm older than her mama. and her mama's touched. God bless her. Her mama's touched. And when y'all come in, like, thumbs up, share it out if you think it's gonna bless somebody. So me and her talking, and I can tell she comes from some unique background. She is 30 some years old, single mom, one son. And she came over to my desk. She's had a couple different incidents, a lot of drama family wise. Um, she came over to my desk, was it maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, eyes filled with water. I'm like, I said, what's going on? I just found out my sister was shot and killed last night. I'm sorry, what did you just say to me? So, this is not actually her biological sister, but it is the aunt of her son. And I guess her and her son's father, they all grew up together. And she grew up with this girl, and they look at each other like sisters. The young girl was in her 30s, 30, 31, I think she said, and was shot, killed here in Gilbert, Arizona by her boyfriend. Yesterday, so when she told me the situation, I'm like, and I have had a murder in our family. So on my mother's side, her father, my grandfather, was shot and killed at his club, and I was the first contact. So, I understand violence on that level, but this actually goes to even more on what I want to talk on, because I see this with people, and I can't. PJ, what's up? I gotta find out. Y'all, I'm gonna have to get that. YouTube done did some new stuff, y'all. And the text on this screen is like micro mini. So I'm gonna make sure in the future to have the laptop or the iPad here, because I'm like this trying to see what y'all saying. Absolutely insanity. How you doing, PJ? How you doing, baby? Um, so and PJ, tell me what's your weather like, and I forgot where you at in the country, but tell me where your weather at, where you at in the country. I'm in Arizona. Kathy is usually in Texas, but she is in Vegas. If you go scroll back up, and she ain't told me what the weather is in Vegas, but I'm presuming it's probably similar to Arizona. I know we still between 80 and 90 during the day, and at night it gets down to 60s, 70s. I know my AC, I normally don't even have to run it too much. Matter of fact, I had to turn the fan off because I start getting cold. YouTube unsubscribed you from me? I don't understand. Well, just resubscribe and hit the notifications. Welcome back. I don't even understand. They're weird. I don't know what they did, because I'm gonna tell you this: that whatever they did with this micro mini on this live is pissing me off. I'm gonna tell you that. So, back to the 22 shot story. So the young lady comes to my desk, and oh, Daphne, welcome to the channel. Or Delphi. Delphi, welcome to the channel, baby. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I'm getting ready to talk about a domestic issue, and welcome to the channel. And thanks for that update. And I hope I said the name right, Delphi. I hope I said your name right. All right, I don't know what they did, y'all. Where my computer? YouTube. I don't understand. Y'all messing with me. Okay, and now your stuff is blending together. Child. YouTube, hold on. Let me do this. That's all right. YouTube, I got ways around you. Yes, I do. I don't know what they did. Everything micro mini. Hold on, y'all. They messing with my emotions. But it's okay, because I do have a laptop. That's all right. I got ways. They can do what they want to do. We got a laptop. Okay, I don't know how long it's going to last, and I ain't got it plugged in. Y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Give me a second here. See if I can reach this thing. Y'all getting my hand and everything else. So I'm trying to put the laptop behind y'all. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, hold on, y'all, hold on. And see if I can get the YouTube. Let's go. Well, you know what? I may not want to go in this way. Let me go for my other thing. Hold on a second, y'all. Let's go in this way. I'll go in for my Christian channel. All right, here we go. And all right, there we go. All right, let me see if I can see the chat. Oh, I might be echoing. Am I echoing, y'all? Oh, hold on. Let me turn the volume off on this one. All right, there we go. All right, y'all hear me okay? All right. Okay, I can see the chat from here. All right, so PJ, you said KC. Okay, good deal. Oh yeah, you said Kansas City. All right, Delphi, where you at? All right, and we're gonna talk about this abuse thing because let me finish this story. And one of the reasons I wanted to share it on here, I talked. Some of y'all can go back to my old stuff, and I have Indiana. Okay, got you. I've been through your neck of the woods. It's been a while, but when I did trucking, I've talked about my story as far as my childhood and abuse stuff that I saw. Even my stepfather, him and my mother used to get into fights, and a lot of times she instigated them. I'll be honest. And so the next thing you know, they was in a fight, and then he'd leave. There were a couple ones that he started, I think, so he can go find another woman to screw. I started understanding his pattern. But a lot of times my mother was touched, so she would start different arguments, okay? And we had, obviously he was a Chester molester, so I had to deal with that part of it growing up. And she knew what she brought into the house, okay? And that's kind of because later, as I got older and I started playing back those conversations in my head and things she would say to me, I then became very aware that she was very aware of what she had married. But there are women, and I'm using the word women loosely, let me say grown females, that because of their own self-centered, low self-esteem desires, they bring stuff into their house. And when you have children, you need to be exceptionally careful if you give a good doggone about your children. But some people, their own self will and gratification is more important, which is demonic. From a Christian perspective, it's highly demonic, than that of the safety of their children. Okay. And it's sad, but true. And it is a way in which, and I'm coming from a Christian side, the enemy weaves a foothold into the life of people. And as you mature, this becomes, and you become an adult, this becomes an area and an issue in your life as an adult, and it will manifest in some form or fashion. Absentee father is a father, that absentee father in your life, it manifests, whether you're female or male, it manifests in some. The Kirk Franklin story is a perfect example of that absentee parenting that was missing in his life and the dysfunction. Granted, we look at, oh, well, he became a star. Yes, but there is a lot of dysfunction in his life and even in his character. I don't care how rich you are, money does not resolve, fame does not resolve brokenness, damages, hurt, abuse. It doesn't resolve those things, okay? They still exist. And especially when you have sketchy and jacked up parents, as Kirk does, as many of us do. I mean, no parent is perfect, but some got better than others. Let's just point blank period, okay? Back to the story. So the young girl comes over, I think it was last week, week before last, and she tears in her eyes, and she said, and she knows I'm a minister, and she said, Miss Shannon, my sister was killed. I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect it. So I shared with her, I'm familiar with murder in a family. She said that the girl was shot by her boyfriend. Well, then she explains that it's not her biological sister. She calls her sister because they grew up together. So it'd be like me and Vivian and me and my friend Cubby. They're like sisters to me. Okay, even Linda is more now like a sister to me. So it would be like that. Okay, Jane, my best friend Jane, is just like family to me. It would be like something happening to her. It would be devastating. Okay, even though we aren't kin, but they're like family. Okay. So we can't choose the family we born in, but we can dang sure choose the people we want to call our family. And those people are like family to me, okay? So she proceeds to tell me that yesterday while I was there, or Friday while I was there to fill out my timesheet and everything else, because I'm scheduled out. I'm scheduled out of this company for the whole month of November, with the exception of like 30 minutes on certain days. 30 minutes on certain days. I'm not there. Zero. Zero. It's kind of funny actually. So I went in and they just had me do training. I didn't have to even log on the phone. I went in to fill out my timesheet information and kind of and clear out email and just, check in. And she gave me a big hug and they saw me and a bunch of folks hugged me. And my nickname there is Fluffy Grandma. So, my Lord, the young lady proceeds to tell me, she said, Fluffy Grandma, but she got Miss Shannon or Fluffy Grandma. She said, Miss Shannon, um, my sister, and she said, I just got off the phone with the detective. This was Friday. I said, well, she wasn't there to witness it, but her son would go and spend the night over there because these ultimately are his cousins. He's related to these people. And so this is his actual biological father's sister, because they all grew up together. So the baby was 30, I think she said 30 or 31 years old, something like that. 4 children, y'all, 4 children. The man who shot her and killed her was not their father. But what she proceeds to tell me is devastating. He shot her 22 times. He tried to shoot the kids. I think ran out of bullets, whatever. I don't know all the details. Told him he was coming back to kill them. My Lord. The oldest had the kids like hide under the bed. He shot at the bed and missed them, praise Jesus. And then when the man left, he was able to lock him out, lock the room of his siblings, and then he ran for help. And she's at my desk, tears in her eyes. Now, what I thought was 30 minutes of logging in the phone was really 30 minutes of the Lord allowing me to listen and minister. And try to speak wisdom, because a lot of people, they don't hear wisdom. Let me see what you're saying here, PJ. Oh, definitely. Hold on. I think, PJ, you said something with this thing. Hold on. Let me make sure my scroll is working. And if you see hello, that's from me through my thing. I just want to make sure it's working. Oh, I sure didn't do that good. Let's see. Remove. I tried to say hello, y'all, and I didn't do it right. Let's see if it goes now. There we go. Just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Hold on. And everything now is blended. It's so weird. I don't know. It's all weird. All of it's blended on the phone, so the phone ain't working good. Anyway, I think, PJ, you tried to say something, but it's all weird. I don't know what's doing. It's doing weirds. Here's what I'm gonna say. So anybody coming in, hello. The YouTube did something different on the live chat, so it's funky. But I do have my computer up, but even that, I'm not sure if it's showing everybody's stuff because it's really weird. So prayerfully, it'll show everybody's stuff. Um, I'm going to talk on this for a minute, and you can either hear it or you can't, because some people, they still will remain in their stuff. Before I say what I got to say, I'm going to tell another story real quick. So I went to Oregon when I was in trucking, and Bill met me up there. He had relocated, him and his wife had relocated from Colorado up there, and the goal was to move up eventually to Washington State. Bill loves the Pacific Northwest. His wife, Karen, how I met Bill was through his sister-in-law, who has passed on. Her name was Linda, not the Linda I talk about now, but his sister was named Linda. Linda was an amazing black woman. Linda had degrees, and she kept them on the floor in a closet. She didn't even put them on the wall, and she said all they are is pieces of paper. But Linda was, I guess, very well known in the black executive committees, or excuse me, community. Baby girl was bad. And she was the most humble person you'd ever meet. I actually house set for her. She gave me my dog Kimba, which I don't know if y'all ever saw Kimba in a video at all. She gave me my dog Kimba. He was a buff cocker spaniel, and it was actually Trucker Bill's dog, and they couldn't keep it, and they gave it to Linda, and Linda and Kimba did not work out together. They didn't like each other, and she had another dog named Sheba. So when Linda ended up having to leave out of her position in corporate America, she was going to go teach, and she went back to school and got her teaching certificate, and then she did her externship over in Europe. Well, while she was gone, she asked me to house sit her house. And if you would understand the kind of money this sister made, I mean, this woman was a six-figure woman, but her house was so humble. I mean, just a very humble sister. And she actually even brought to Arizona, she's from Colorado, she brought the the Black Rodeo out here. She founded it here in Arizona, Bill Pickett Rodeo here. So very, very cool person. I'm giving you some established things for a reason. So once how I met Trucker Bill was through her, because before I went into trucking, she told me I needed to sit down with her brother-in-law, which was Bill. And I met Bill at the table at Linda's house here in Phoenix, and he told me about trucking, and I went into it. Okay. So when I went down to visit, I was visiting him and his wife, Karen, which is Linda's sister, and he came pick me up from the truck stop, and I hung out with him. And I met one of Bill's daughters from a previous marriage. He had moved her because her mother died to Oregon with his granddaughter. And me and his granddaughter, we clicked instantly. Love that baby. And just, mm, it's when you meet someone and you can tell that the end for them is not going to necessarily be good. And when I met that child and I met Bill's daughter, I did not have a good vibe. Point blank, period. So, I'm not giving names. I met her. Daughter was nice, but I could just tell some things weren't right. And Bill on the there might be areas that he probably, typical black male, but as a father, Bill is a father, even to kids that aren't his biological children. He's paid for weddings of women's children. He was married to them, but they weren't his biological children. But he considers their being their stepfather their father. Okay. This young lady is his actual biological daughter, but her mom passed, and he knew that mama did not cut those in biblical cards to where when mama died, she was going to be struggling. She has one child, a single mom, and this is a little girl that I met. A little girl came, looked at my truck. Bill said she wants to see your truck. Climbed up on the stairs, got in the truck. He showed her my truck. Then she climbed up in his truck and looked at his truck. And then we left to go hang out and eat. Y'all. I'm telling this story for a reason. God gives me a discernment of things, and I instantly discerned that this woman, young woman, using woman loosely, young grown female, like niggas. I'm gonna put it like that. Ghetto ninjas, males. And before I left, I said to her, I said, I'm gonna say something to you. Because it was on me. I picked it up, just picked it up off of her. I said, I get, because she want to go into the hood, and she want to go where ninjas were, just to get stuff. I'm like, and everybody got a hood, even Oregon. Everybody got a hood. Everybody got a hood. You got a hood here in Arizona, and every city got a hood. I don't care where you at. Tempe got a hood. Scottsdale got a hood. Everybody got a hood. I don't care what part of the country you're in. Everybody got a hood. So, my Lord. I said to her, I said, look, I said, you got that little girl back there. I said, I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to share a little bit about my life. I grew up under a single mother, and she ended up marrying a pervy stepfather, and I had some very, jacked up stuff happen to me as a young girl. I said, we really need to be cautious and careful of the males that we bring into our lives as grown adults, especially if you have children, and especially female children. Now, it don't matter nowadays. They could be pervs or boys and girls, but a lot of them will go, females get the worst of the worst of it, okay? And I said, we need to be very careful. Oh, I won't have that. Okay, you're not listening. And her reaction told me it's about her, okay? She reminded, I don't know what it was, but it jumped off the page at me. I do know there's been some other things that have transpired. I mean, Bill helped her get a car. There was some other stuff. And she's ratchet. She's ratchet, okay? I'm thinking your daddy helped you get a car, and you got tickets on the car, a whole bunch of stuff this baby did. She's ratchet. So if you ratchet like that, you also ratchet on what you're going to bring in that house with that baby, okay? I could tell you stories. One of the good young ladies I worked with, I told her, because she ended up with custody of her grandbaby. We're about the same age. And her daughter's in another state. Daughter wasn't able to maintain the kids, and I'm going to fly them down to you and send paperwork for you to be the custodian guardian. Well, she sent them here, but she didn't send that paperwork. I talked to this young woman, the person that's my age, and I said, sweetie, you may need to contact CPA here in Arizona and Child Protective Services, CPS, and tell them you need to get custody of your grandbabies. Because I don't have a good vibe on what you've told me and the fact your child sent these kids down here because she can't take care of them. Well, sure enough, later down the road, I don't know how many months it wasn't that many. So one grandchild, I think, was around 2, and I can't remember, the other one was just under 5 or right around 5. The baby boy, he was a 2-year-old. I later found out from somebody I work with, they said, did you hear what happened to so-and-so? Because I used to work with this girl. I said, no. And I was at a different company, and she was no longer at the company we had worked together at. I said, no, what happened? She said, girl, them grandkids that she had, one of them is dead. What the hell you mean one of them's dead? So when I told her, because I had this sense that God had given me, get custody of them grandkids, and she's like, well, that's my only daughter. And my husband, he ain't gonna want his only daughter having to deal with Child Protective Services. You need somebody to advocate for those grandbabies. Your daughter is not right. Okay, I'm sorry, and y'all might be reasons she's not right. I don't know. But she's not right. The grandbabies need something stable. You're older now, and you're giving them more stability than they have with their mama. So right now, the grandkids, she grown. The babies don't have no way to defend themselves. They don't have any way to advocate for themselves. Therefore, she sent them here for a reason. You need to get custody. You need to do what's right for the babies, not the grown person who don't want to be grown and who want to be crazy. Did not listen, and it's just the Lord had put it on me. I'm one of the people. If the Lord show me something, I say what I'm saying. What you do with it is on you. Sure enough, I don't even know how many months it was. She apparently had come back, got the kids, the crazy mama, her daughter, took the kids back to the state they were from, which I think was St. Louis, something like that, right? Crazy daughter decided, oh, one day she gonna force the baby daddy who didn't want anything to do with his kids. That's another word for y'all. Stop trying to force ninjas who don't want their children to try to take care of their children, because they don't want to take care of their children. They're not, and it may create a detrimental situation, and it may do things that aren't good. And I've had several associates I know, some that are grown today, that don't realize what's wrong with them because they mama or whoever it was tried to force folks in their life that didn't want them, and it creates a bad situation, and it jacks them up. Stop doing that. If the daddy don't want to be a daddy, pursue him for some money and let that ninja go. Don't try to force him or her to be up in the children's life if that's not what they want to be. So she tried to force the daddy to take care of the kid, and somewhere in her leaving the son there, the baby ended up dead, 2 years old. The daddy did something and the baby ended up dead. She didn't find out of it until her son called to tell her mama the baby dead. And I know that the crazy daughter didn't call you to tell you. You know, my sister didn't call and tell you that the baby was killed or whatever by the daddy. I'm hoping somebody hear this. And if you got to share it with people who you know is in crazy situations with crazy people, please send this to them. And hopefully they wake up. But I realize Satan sometimes has people in delusion and so involved in their own self-will and their own selfish needs that they will put their children and themselves in a detrimental situation. If folks is crazy, leave them alone. Her son, the young lady at work, had told me her son had witnessed multiple domestic situations between this dude and his aunt. She said, Shannon, he didn't tell me until now that all this has happened. She said, because I wouldn't even had him going over there. Y'all. When folks is crazy, believe them. It goes back to that Maya Angelou situation. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Telling don't always mean verbally. People can tell you who they are by their actions and their deeds. When folks tell you or basically show you who they are, believe them. And there are situations where you need to throw crazy folks the peace sign and leave them in God's hands. But to my mothers and fathers of children, you guys really need to advocate for your children if you love them. And you need to choose whether you love your children over ninjas. Okay, and I'm talking to males or females. The gentleman who sits across from me at work, it's kind of like been a multiple. It's like, okay, Lord, I need to deal with this. The guy who sits across from me at work at the job I'm on for the month. Hey, fluffy grandma, hey, he's depressed and he talking about, I gotta go confront this ninja tonight that my baby mama is messing with because he has threatened my two daughters that he had with her. Now there's other issues with this woman, and I said, I'm gonna say something to you. Do what you want with it. I said, sometimes maybe we need to grow up and take custody of the situation. The issue is that I know you're a weed smoker. He think, I'm a DJ. He's still stuck in being a grown child, okay? And a grown man, you need to go get your custody of your kids from crazy mama because the mama is off. She done lost a job. She getting ready to get evicted. And your kid's going to be on the street. You talking about moving her out here, but now she going to sit there and want you to take care of them. Granted, you are supposed to take care of your children, but the grown chick need to get a job, but she don't want to hold a job. So therefore, you need to take custody of your children and let her do what she wants to do because she's also that kind of person is going to bring any and everything up in that house. Therefore, it tells me that there may be things that happen with your children if they have not already happened. Because he's already mentioned his child getting into a fight. And I'm going to say, when children automatically start doing stuff like that, there was things that I did. Those are already signs that there may be sexual abuses happening. Danielle, when we talked about her, she was fighting. And it wasn't until a counselor said, has anything happened to you, sexually? Hold on, I'm trying to see what's going on. Somebody got a light out here outside my window. The heck is going on? Okay, I'm gonna keep on talking. So, has anything happened to you sexually? Um, and Danielle then told the story. Hey, Wendy, thank you. Danielle told the story of what had happened to her uh, with her mama's boyfriend. He was arrested after she told what took place. You need to be very careful when you have children of the people that you are bringing in to that child's life. I understand that as an adult, you may want another, like a boyfriend or a husband or a wife or a girlfriend, but you really, 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 really need to be cautious of the ninjas to feel your own loneliness. Believe it. I came home the other day. Two kids over there. I don't even know if they 20 years old. They was young. She out there screaming and hollering at this. So she looked like she was Latino, he black. She's screaming and hollering. He talking about, I gotta go. I'm gonna go. She's bigger physically than him. He's skinny Kahulu hula Cheerio. So she able to push him and, oh, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? Because I asked you about so and so. Okay, so you know he messing around with some other chick. I'm hearing it. I'm only hearing part of the conversation, but I already know what's going on. So, dude is hitting it with another chick. You found out he messing with another chick. He challenging her that she should be minding home business because basically I want to screw the other chick. I'm gonna screw her, and I don't give you the right to do anything. You don't have the right to, I don't. What have I done for you? I'm like, okay, you need to let him go. Whenever you got to go through all that, but they in their 20s, so I understand foolishness. But the behavior I saw told me that's gonna last a lot longer. And the sad part is there are females that you'll have babies by these sorry ninjas like this. And those sorry ninjas will end up molesting, raping, doing all sorts of stuff with the children. Hello, precious. And that tells you by the mother impression, because that comes from a true story of the type of females. My biological mother was probably very much on that level. Um, I'm lucky it didn't turn into a rape, but it wasn't far from it. He was just looking at body parts and jacking off, but it wasn't far from it. It was coming had God not moved him out that house. You, that's why I think I have a spirit to identify it when I see it. And I was able to identify with Bill's daughter situation that I just had a really not a good vibe on what that baby is going to go through. And she just, the precious little baby, just one of the ones you just want to hug and say, get in my truck, let's go, and leave your crazy behind mama here. But unfortunately, you can't. Um, so if anybody hears this, if you know of somebody, try to speak in their life. Pray for them and pray they use wiser decisions. Now these kids, 4 children left, no mama, and they now have childhood trauma of watching their mom be murdered. And 22 times, not only that, they're going to have probably PTSD from them also being shot at as well. 4 children. For the rest of their life, that sticks with them. And that's some heavy duty damage. Not to mention, I don't know what else might have gone on. She said the police said this guy was so drugged out, he don't even remember killing her. That's another thing. You knew he was doing drugs. I'm not understanding. And I know you guys, some of y'all think marijuana's okay. Leave that crap alone. You open yourself up to spiritual forces and you don't even know half the time what you're doing. I went to get fuel the other day, and between the, I don't know if it's meth, fentanyl, whatever they was doing on the side, one guy came in, got 2 beers, and he just stood there out of his doggone mind. I'm trying to pay for my gas, and he's like, "You can go ahead." I said, "No, go on." Then he stood there and he paid for his beers, and then he tried to turn around, tried to give me $2. I said, "I'm good. You go and handle what you need to handle, baby." And he stood there like this, and just stood there. Big old scab that was half blistered and open on the back. And all I could say was, Lord have mercy. Because the baby out of his mind, drugged out. He don't even know who he is. Whatever demons are on board that are walking around in his world, he's messed up. I'm hoping you can hear me, but I know people won't. I know some of the spiritual reasons behind people not being able to hear. But I'm hoping that for those who do have an ear, you can hear, or you may need to intervene and maybe you send this and it pricks something with someone's heart to where they listen and they do something different. Guys, you got to come from a different level. This is not what you want to do. Um, thank you, Delphi. I love it. She said you can't force someone to love you or to stay. That's facts. But you got people who um and I really call it low self-esteem women. My mother was one of those. I feel sorry for her because I understand why my mother was damaged. And you're looking for love. And I'm gonna say, even in my younger days, in the gayest days, when I wasn't, Christian, and well, I'm gonna say Christian, I was a backslidden Christian. But even in those struggles, I messed with some crazy folks. And there's a point where though you have to have, and I don't want to get because I hate this part of it, and I want to be cautious on how I say it. You have to understand that God loves you, number one. And you must have enough self worth in the love that God has for you. And I'm not talking about self centered, very different. Self worth in the fact of what you're worth to God, that you understand He wants His best for you. And therefore, you don't need to tolerate foolishness. I don't know if that, hopefully, that makes sense. I don't want you to be like some Christians who name it, claim it, and it's all about self, self, self. Be careful there. What I'm trying to say is you have value. You have value to God, and foolishness is not what His intent is for your life. If you understand that, then you will find value in who God sees you as, and you are valuable to Him. That's and understanding that that same loving God that sent His Son to a cross to save you and then to rise up and give you an eternal hope and a future, that God cares enough about you and felt you were of that level of value. So why are you stepping down to demonic levels with people who do not love you? They don't even love themselves. They're caught up in their own perversion and their own weird, crazy mindset. And you're inviting that into your house. And if you have children, you're bringing that into your home or you're subjecting them to the madness. Run, don't walk away from that. And I wasn't at all trying to be insensitive to the young lady, but I said, I'm sorry for your loss, but there's wisdom in this situation. You yourself are a single mother, and you are a 31-year-old grown female. This is a lesson in making sure you choose the right people to be around you and your child. This young lady chose somebody out of probably loneliness to be in her life. And unfortunately, she did it to where it extinguished her life. There's a story of a situation here. There's a black couple here in Arizona. The young man killed all, him and the girl and his children. I think they were his children. I think they were his children. It's an old story. You might be able to find it. And it happened, I don't even know if it's been 5, maybe 8 years ago, maybe a little, maybe around then. Black couple, he gets in the car, puts them all in the car, and drives them into I think it's Tempe Town Lake here in Arizona, out in my home city of Tempe. Kills them all. Um, and I can't remember all the details behind it, but there was domestic abuse. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it was one of those run don't walk from the situation. Why sometimes people stay in situations? Oh, that's my baby daddy. Okay, guys, don't. I had a young lady in Texas who was in management that I knew at the bank. She had two sons by this one guy. The guy didn't want to be their daddy. He didn't even want kids. He was a ninja. She was chasing him. She popped out two babies. He didn't want them, and she forcing him to go over there and didn't want to tell him about himself. Sister, he don't want his sons. Only thing you need to try to pursue him for is financial support because he don't want. And when you have males like that, why are you trying to force them in the life of their children? I got another one. Get him financially, and if he don't want to be a part of his children's life, and a lot of times too, some of them are doing stuff just to get back at you. But initially, she was trying to force that relationship, force him to be a dad. You can't force ninjas to be daddies. If they don't want to be a daddy, they ain't gonna be a daddy. What you can do is take them to court and get some money and handle raising your children. Unfortunately, it fell back on you. Wisdom. There's some people, they don't want their parenting. I worked with one male, and I have to give him credit today. We were working at a cell company, and that man would get up every day because him and the baby, his son's mother were not getting along, and the mama was trying to get back at him, wasn't letting him see the son. He would leave work, and he worked overnight, leave work, go pick up breakfast for him and his son, meet his son outside of the school, and sit in the car and have breakfast with his son. That's somebody who wants to be a father. That's somebody who wants to be a dad. He later did get custody of his son, and his son graduated from college. I know the guy very well. That's somebody who wants to be a dad. That's somebody who wants a relationship with their child. But the ones you got to call them and tell them, they don't really care. They don't care. Or they want to be jerks. They don't care. Be careful in what you guys are inviting into your life when you have children. And if you're somebody, male or female, who has children with another person and you don't have full custody and you know something is wrong, go get your kids. Last story, my best friend, she's Korean and black. Her father was a veteran. I think he might have met her mother overseas. Okay. They married, popped out two kids, brought her back here to the States. When they went through the divorce, they had partial custody each. Okay. They had dual custody. Whether he was right or wrong, he grabbed his two children, didn't tell nobody where he was going, and he told them black children should be raised by black parents. Whether you agree with that or not, he felt strongly enough about raising his kids. First, you got to compliment him. No offense to my brothers who may watch this, but oftentimes you don't want to raise your kids. Okay, not all of you. There are a few. The gentleman I talked about was black that went and met his son every day. My best friend's father was black. But you guys are those kind of people, far few and in between in the community of black people. I can't speak to other cultures. I can only speak to mine in this situation. All I know is oftentimes females get stuck. But if you are a man and you know that the baby mama are crazy as hell, you need to do what you can to try to get custody of your kids. In the case of my best friend's father, he just took them. He's like, granted, probably been a different story today, but he took them and rolled out of the state he was, and he made it so that that woman couldn't even find them. She didn't know where they was at until he died. That's when she found out. And that's the first time I met my best friend's mother. She said, I don't necessarily agree with what my dad did, but she understands it. Hell, I respect it. Because that male that I had, he wouldn't have done that for none of us. Zero. There might be another daughter, and when me and him talked, I said, wait. What do you mean there's going to be another girl? And this woman that he was with, she gave this girl to her uncle. Whoa, homie. You don't know if uncle's a perv. But because of who my biological father was, he didn't give a dang about whether the girl's being raped. Because his view was, well, most girls is ruined by the time they're 10 years old anyway. Although he may be right. My molest started when I was starting to be 9 years old. And that's sad, and it's sick, and it's twisted. But to him, he didn't care. because he really didn't want to be a father. He enjoyed the act of just screwing a woman and without protection, and boom, I had some kids. Oh well. God bless him. I hope he got in between here right. I hope I don't wish hell on nobody, but his initial who he was as a dad was just sucky. But for those of you who have children, if you say you really care, please be careful. Please be careful. And we praying some wisdom for you. That's enough of that story. But I just had to share it because I know that I talk to people and sometimes things do get through. And people will reach out to me in the background and start telling me stuff. And, when I shared my story of my childhood, there were several people that reached out to me in the background. One of them, who I had already met, had no, some people don't know. Some people, you see folks on these YouTube and you may look at us in a different light, but you don't, honey, you don't know what went on behind. That's why I realized some folks on YouTube give you, hi, wonderful stories, and you don't know the hell they came from. You don't know what they went through. You don't know. Yes, yes, Wendy, we have definitely had that conversation and then some. Absolutely. Let me see here. All right, Kathy. Yeah, Delphi, I don't know. I know as far as the kids, this is what I know from the young lady at work. Initially, they went to the grandparents, who she said are ratchet. So the kids have now been transferred to their biological father, but she said that's not good, and she thinks the person who should get custody is the children's grandfather. But it sounds like it's all just ratchet in general. Let me say this: people don't get to where they at for no reasons. We are normally, in some form or fashion, a reflection of what we come from. So my mother came from being the fat child that nobody liked. She was not favored, and her sister was a favorite child, and her mother and grandmother doted over her. And my aunt could, the sun, the moon, the stars, everything shined on her behind. And that is who my aunt became. I don't think my aunt is necessarily a bad person. I think she is a product, as all of them are, of the dysfunction in their household. My two brothers are very well educated, both seem to be very successful, but we are all products of the cray cray that came from my mother. In some form or fashion, it has impacted all of us. Whether they can see, I can see it because I know it. Whether they can see where the damages lie, there are damages. They've done well on other levels, but there are damages, and and that generational curse translates. So, um, it is it's one of the things that I have that, and this just makes me very different, and sometimes a turnoff to people, because I even said this in my Christian group. I'm a realist. I see the reality of a situation, and I say I say my truth. I don't hate my mother. I don't like her. I honor the fact she is my biological mother. I honor the fact Monty's my biological father, but both of them sucked as parents. Monty was absent, and Frances, she's just a hot. She's off. But at the same time, I realize why they're damaged, and it has to, both of their damages come from their upbringing. Point blank. Period. Monty didn't have anybody getting his behind enough and made him think that he was just everything on the planet and he could do what the heck he wanted, and there was not enough discipline. Plus the stuff he had inherited through his line. Frances was the child who was shunned and not liked, and so her thing was looking for approval through probably whatever male she could get that would give her attention as a fat lady, and that's what she did with the pervy brother's father. And you brought that in with a girl a female child. You got to be very selective. And one of the things that still stands out to me was a story of the gentleman at my job who found out that one of his daughters was molested by the boyfriend of his ex-wife. And he then, when he started getting involved with the lady, he had a actual, I think like a private investigator, do a background check on her. Yes, he did. And he told her afterwards he did it. And she stuck with him, which I had to respect, because the first one he did, I was like, But then I thought about what I went through. And I said to myself, I really respect what he did, because he said, I don't want that ever happening to my children again. That's a father. And that's a man who, even if I like this woman, even if this woman is someone I want in my life, I am not going to bring somebody in our life for the detriment, to the detriment of my children. That preaches. And I had to do nothing but respect him. And it actually gave me a new way of looking at people, because really God only knows the hearts of people. People can put on all sorts of facades. Like I said, you meet my mom and you would have met Francis and my father, y'all would have loved him. Monty was funny and jovial. You would have had no idea he was a dick. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Not unless he did it. Some of the women didn't know till later on. That the dude, Christina's mom, that woman popped out 3 kids by him. And it wasn't until later she said, I'm happy you got to meet your sister Shannon to let you know your father's a compulsive liar. I had no clue but you popped out 3 kids before you really discovered all of this. And then you finally stopped. That the brother had game. And he knew the type of women to pick. And I do believe he picked a lot of our mothers because they were women with a self-esteem issue. They wanted to be cared for, liked, and Monty had game for those kind of women. There's a reason he went after the type of women he went to. He liked fat women. There's a reason, because a lot of overweight women have low self-esteem. I'm fat as hell, y'all. I don't have low self-esteem. I have leave me alone. I got leave me alone. I got that. Because I'm not the one. And again, you got to know what your worth is to God, and then you start understanding your worth. And when you understand that, you got a whole new perspective. If I'm not going to let foolishness from my family come in, I'm not going to let no ninja come in with foolishness either. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Folks might want to get on the page. I'm just saying. All right. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say. That's pretty much what I had to talk about tonight. I hope you guys are okay. I know most of us are still watching the war in Israel. We need to be praying for them. Pray for everybody involved. But be praying for them. God bless them. Uh, it's a lot going on in that. There's a lot of deception. Social media is being used in order to, I think, for one group to create a certain narrative. But I would challenge you to step back, look at the facts, and ask God to open your eyes so that you can see. There's a lot more going on. It is very spiritual involved in that. Everything is real spiritual, but that over there, that's some heavy duty spiritual stuff going on. But yeah. So tonight was just mainly be careful what you invite in your house. Be careful what you bring around your children. Be careful, even if you don't have children, what you bring in your own life. Um, Last story, I had a girl that I know, and she's very good with money, but the girl is vengeful as hell. And her mother had married, so she had one girl by one man, then she got married to my friend's stepfather. And she then tried to force her girls to go hang out with his family. Well, his family did not like him because he's a dick, and they didn't like him. So, the ignorance of people, I don't understand this, but I also understand, again, I think it's spiritual, is that they wanted to take that out on the children. So when my friend would go they would, be sent over to hang out with his family, they would buy Christmas gifts for everybody but her and her sister. And her sister was actually their blood, but they would treat them different because they didn't like the stepfather or father of the sister, of him or her and her sister. They didn't like him. So they treated them like crap. Well, that stayed with her. And so even now, she has 2 children and her 2 boys. She basically will jump all into people's face who are related to them if they don't give them gifts, or if they don't. And that stems from what happened to you as a child. Again, you cannot force people to do what they don't want to do. If they're going to be buttholes, don't force it. Let them be buttholes elsewhere. But I see that in a lot of how she acts. And she doesn't see it. She doesn't even understand what it comes from. She has absolutely no idea what it comes from. It stems from the damages from her childhood. And a lot of times it's stems because parents made choices to try to force you into situations with ninjas who want nothing to do with you. Thank you. Leave me alone. And if that father, whoever, don't want anything, grandparent, whoever, don't force that. And you're putting the kid in a very bad situation. That's unnecessary. Anyway, y'all, what time is it? It's an hour. I got to get up here and start dealing with some homework. Y'all, I will have more updates for y'all within 2 weeks to let you know of some possible changes. If all goes well, I'll know in 2 weeks. And well, actually, I'll know in a week and a half probably, because I think this week is my study time, and then next week is where I test. So depending on how that all comes out, it will determine some things, and I'll share that with you hopefully within 2 weeks. So anyway, y'all, I might be on Saturday or Sunday of next week. Just be looking for the live. If you guys watch this later, please give us a like, thumbs up, share it out. Wendy, good to see you. Delphi, welcome to the channel. Hold on, let me go back. I saw PJ, I think it was in here. Let me see who else in here. Yeah, so Kathy, PJ, Delphi. I hope I'm saying the name right. Delphi. I hope that's what I'm saying it right. Wendy, I see you. If y'all know who Wendy is, that's Magical Girl. I know her real name. So I hope you guys are all being blessed. I'm praying that God just shows himself to you and that you walk in him. That's what I pray. If you don't know him, I pray you get to know him. I pray there's something he pricks about your heart. If you have people you know who are in those domestic and crazy situations, feel free to send this to them. Like I said, I could tell stories. My own story is one of those stories, but yeah, you got to be careful who you work with. One last thing: when my grandfather got shot and killed, he had been messed with two chicks. He had a little club where the older people go play bingo, Pacino, poker, and nobody ever bothered him. He had it for years. I mean, I used to trick or treat there as a kid. Nobody ever bothered him. Everybody knew him and they left him alone. And it's not about the people who shot and killed him. That's one, they were there to rob the club. He wasn't even running it. One of his ex-girlfriends was running it. But let me tell you what they did, and this is why I say you need to know people. My grandfather kept money all around his house. He kept money everywhere around his house, right? When he got shot and killed, the two women picked up his keys, his ex-girlfriend and his current girlfriend. And those two chicks went to his house, and they cleaned. It wasn't a dollar. We couldn't find a dollar in that house when we got there. The next door neighbor said, oh, yeah, there were two ladies that came. And once I found out about what happened to your grandfather, there was two ladies that came that night he was killed. Those were them two chicks. Again, knowing who you messing with and messing with people who are just ratchet. Y'all let the ratchetness go. When they show you they ratchet, throw the peace on and keep it moving. Okay? Throw the peace on and keep it moving. Anyway, y'all, be blessed. Peace, 2 and 2. I'll holler at y'all in about a week.